Students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome in this class, in this course, Theories of IR, Theories of International Relations. So let us first think what theory is. Do you know, do you understand what is a theory? Anybody can explain? Theory.
Theory या idea इसका जो
Huh?
idea it is an idea जो कि मतलब हम इसे सबूत और के साथ explain करता है.
Theory is a general statement. Any theory is a general understanding of a phenomenon, a general understanding of an aspect of life or a phenomenon in this universe. So any general understanding, general statement is a theory. For example, if we talk about all the countries, okay, all countries have judiciaries, all countries have courts, all countries have police. Is it a general statement or is it a particular statement? It is a general statement. So it is a theoretical statement, you can say. All countries, all governments in all countries provide security to the citizens. Governments of all countries are supposed to promote the national interest. These are theoretical statements. If we talk about all the cities, all the students, all the teachers, all the trees, all the planets, it is theory. It is theory. So theory is general understanding. Now, theories of international relations. Why do we need to study theories of international relations? What is the importance of theories of international relations? Yes, we study international relations, the subject of international relations, to understand how nations interact with each other, how nations treat each other. I forgot to turn my phone on silent mode. So let me first turn it on silent mode. Yes, now it is silent. Okay, so I was saying we study international relations to understand how nations, international, how nations deal with each other, how they interact with each other, how they treat each other. Okay, how they promote their relations, how wars occur, how trade is promoted, all these things. It is part of international relations. Now, why do we need theories of international relations? As I said, a theory is a general understanding. It identifies patterns of behaviors, common things among countries, common things among humans, common things among cities, common things among traders, common things among companies, anything which is common in a certain community, in a certain locality, in a, type of, in a certain category of things. So they are patterns. So it is more helpful for enhancing of our knowledge. Are you getting my point? If you study particular about particular country, about a particular individual, or about a particular plant, it also adds to knowledge. But it adds to knowledge about only about that particular individual, particular leader, or particular country. But if we study theory of plants, for example, so we our understanding of plants in general develops. We know something about all the plants if we are studying theories of plants. Similarly, if we are studying theories of international relations, we get to understand an overall picture of the world, all relations in the world. So, do you agree that it is more helpful? It is more helpful if we get to understand how all the nations interact with each other. What are the patterns of behaviors, patterns of foreign policies, patterns of wars, patterns of trade. Okay, so this is why theories of international relations is important. And let me tell you, in the discipline of international relations, in the subject of international relations, this is the most important course. Most important course. So, your students of political science. Political science, as I told you, I think in the orientation, it is a broad subject. International relations is also its child, one of the children of political science. Political science is an old subject. International relations born out of it, out of political science. So in this, we also study international relations in political science. Now, I told you in the last class that today we will discuss liberalism. There are many approaches to study international relations, which are also called theories. Liberalism is one of them. Realism is another. Feminism is another. Marxism is also one of the theories of IR. Structure, constructivism is also one of the theories of IR. So there are many. Environmentalism, green politics, it is also one of the theories of IR. So if you have a look at the contents of the book which I have shared with you, you will get to know there are many theories. There are the cultural theories of IRS as well. So we are starting with the liberalism, and just a few lines today, and then next week we will study the next point. The liberal view, inside looking out. Inside looking out. In the 1990s, Francis Fukuyama brought back an old liberal idea. Do you know Francis Fukuyama? Francis Fukuyama is a Japanese American scholar from Japanese origin. And he wrote a very famous book. Its title is The End of History. Have you heard about it? The End of History. It is a famous book. So Fukuyama brought back an old liberal idea. This idea says strong and legitimate political systems at home can end war abroad. Strong and legitimate political systems at home can end war abroad. What are legitimate systems? Legitimate political systems. Yes, legitimacy means if the government has been elected by the people, if the government has been appointed under a law, under a law. So, if a military ruler, if a general becomes president without any elections, will he be a legitimate ruler? No. So when according to the law, according to the constitution, a government is established, that government is legitimate. It has legitimacy. So the liberal philosophers, the liberal scholars, they say strong and legitimate political systems at home within the country, can end war abroad. They can bring an end to the war. There will be no international wars if all the countries have legitimate, strong governments. This view is often called New Kantian. Kantian. Immanuel Kant. Do you know his name? Immanuel Kant. Who was Immanuel Kant? Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher. He was a liberal philosopher. His famous book is Towards Perpetual Peace. He talked about how can we bring an end to war. Okay, so this view is often called New Kantian. Before going into detail, let me also explain liberalism. The word liberalism, it is from liberty. It is from liberty. Liberty, freedom. So the liberals, they emphasize liberty. They say if people have liberties, if people are free to make their choices, how do they want to live? How, what kind of system and society they want to have? And there is less and less restriction on the citizens. It is good for them. Liberals believe and they promote this idea that the government should have less and less power. They should not interfere in the personal affairs of the citizens, so that citizens have more and more freedom, freedom of education, freedom of business, freedom of having relations, freedom of movement, freedom of expression, free media. Okay, these are all freedoms. So the liberal philosophy, it emphasizes freedom, liberty, and they believe if people are free, they will excel in life. They will develop. They will make progress. And if all the people make in a country make progress, and they are prosperous, they will have little reason to fight. There will be no civil wars. There will be no terrorism. And it will bring peace within the country. And when there will be peace in all the countries, there will be no need to fight wars. So it will ultimately lead to an end to the war, and there will be peace all over the world. This is how they argue. So they promote personal freedoms, freedom of trade, internet. They promote international trade, and since in democratic political systems, people have more freedoms than the people who lived under dictators. So liberals promote democracy. They say if there is democracy all over the world, there will be peace, there will be prosperity, there will be no war. So we are discussing inside looking out from a liberal point of view. It assumes that liberal democratic states are a model for others. Liberal democratic states where people have freedoms and where the political system is democratic. They are model for others. It assumes other countries will copy this model over time. Fukuyama noticed something important. Liberal democracies had moved away from violent behavior. No, pay attention. Pay attention, very important. Liberals say Liberal democracies had moved away from violent behavior. It is very important. You know, up till the Second World War, Germany and France, they fought many wars, but now they don't fight. Do you know this? Similarly, between France and Britain, there were wars. But now, after the Second World War, do they fight against each other? No. So in Western Europe, the countries don't fight against each other now. Do you know this? For many decades, there has been no war in Western Europe, in Scandinavia, in Northern Europe. It is now there is a war between Russia and Ukraine. It is in Eastern Europe. It is Eastern Europe. But we are talking about the Western Europe and the Scandinavian countries, which is actually uh, northwestern Europe, Scandinavia. So those countries don't fight against each other. Similarly, America and Britain, they don't wage war against one. America and Canada, they don't fight against each other. Do you know this? So they have become zones of peace. Although America fights war against Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and others, similarly, other European countries, Western countries, they also join wars against other countries. But the liberal democratic countries, they do not attack each other. It is called liberal theory of peace. Democratic theory of peace. It is called democratic theory of peace, or uh, uh, democratic peace theory. So the theory says the liberal democracies, the consolidated democracies, they do not attack each other. How do they resolve their conflicts? Through negotiations, through peaceful means. They negotiate, they talk to each other, and they find out some solution peacefully without fighting wars. Because democracy makes them learn how to resolve issues peacefully. In countries where there's no democracy, change of power takes place through force. Kings become kings after defeating another king, many times. Dictators become dictators after defeating or killing another dictator. So, in authoritarian countries where there is no democracy, many times there is bloodshed, there is violence, and change of power is, in many cases, it is violent. But in democratic countries, change of power, change of government takes place through vote, peacefully, peacefully. So democratic systems, democratic cultures, democratic environment, they teach people living in peace, doing the things peacefully. So when they resolve their internal issues peacefully, they tend to resolve their international issues also peacefully. So it leads to an end to war. So the theorists, they gathered data, they collected data from all over the world, and they found that the consolidated democracies have never attacked each other. Any two consolidate? No. Let me know. Do you understand what is consolidated democracy? There are two types of democracies: consolidated democracies and transitionary democracies. Transitionary democracies, which are not yet consolidated. Consolidated means a mature democracy. And they found, by looking at the data, by analyzing the data, that the countries where elections have taken place 6 times consecutively. How many times? 6 times. 6 times without break. In other words, in countries where change of government took place 6 times peacefully, they are least likely. None of them has reverted back to authoritarianism. None of them has gone back to dictatorship or authoritarianism. So they continue to be democratic states. In some cases, they found even the states where elections had taken place 5 times, some of them reverted back to authoritarianism. So it means 4, 3, 5, 2, 1 time elections, it is not enough. But when 6 times a nation, a country, holds election and changes its governments peacefully, it becomes consolidated democracy. Consolidated democracy means it is least likely that it will revert back to authoritarianism. It will continue to be a democracy. Fine. Consolidated democracy? Yes, there are some states, Britain, France, Norway, Germany, these are consolidated democracies, Australia, Canada, and similarly, I think South Korea, Japan, Taiwan. So these are consolidated democracies. So this is the democratic theory of peace. It is liberal theory of peace. They had created rules and institutions that reduce conflict. These rules help keep peace between them. He was especially impressed by the great powers. Great powers. No, they don't attack each other. They shared common ideas about what makes a government legitimate. Liberals believe domestic principles can be applied globally. Liberal democratic values can be projected out of the country. This offers the best hope for a peaceful world order. This offers the best hope for a peaceful world order where there will be no wars. The reason is simple. Liberal democracies recognize each other as legitimate. Legitimate. When legitimacy is shared, the desire for war is reduced. A world made up of liberal democracies has fewer reasons to fight. Fewer reasons. New realists strongly reject this liberal view. New realists. Now it is realism. So realists have a very pessimist view of world. They are not very optimist. Liberals are optimists. They hope that the things will improve, humans will improve, the things will become better. The realists, they say no, there is anarchy and there's no authority above the states, above the governments, and war cannot be eliminated. The states will continue to pursue their national interest and it will lead to conflict and competition like that. It, so liberals say humans are good, basically good. They learn bad things from society through their socialization. Realists argue humans are basically bad. They are selfish, they are greedy, they are competitive. So the states, they are composed of humans. So their foreign policy will pursue greed and selfishness. And that greed and selfishness, it leads to war and competition. So this is how realism and liberalism, they are opposing views of the world, of international politics, international relations. So realists, neo-realists strongly reject this liberal view. They argue that good intentions are blocked by reality, and reality is bitter. There is no global authority above states. No single power enforces rules on everyone. Because of this, states must look after themselves. States must look after themselves. They have to defend themselves on their own. The international system is anarchic. There is no authority, world authority. There is no hierarchy above the states. Anybody can explain what is a hierarchy? Hierarchy, chain of command. You know, in a legitimate political system, there is a head of the state or head of the government. But for example, in Pakistan, we have the prime minister as head of the government. Under him is the cabinet, the ministers, federal ministers. He can order them, and they are supposed to obey. Then the federal ministers, they have secretaries, bureaucrats under them. The bureaucrats are supposed to legally obey the minister's orders. And secretaries have the additional secretaries under them. Additional secretaries have joint secretaries, then deputy secretaries, then section officers, then clerks, then uh, PNs. Okay, so this is the chain of command. It is called hierarchy. It is called hierarchy. If there's no chain, so it is established to to sustain an order, to maintain order in the country, in the society, to address the collective issues of the citizens of the country. So if you just imagine, if in the country there's no government, there's no head of the state, no cabinet, okay, no bureaucracy. So will there be order?
No.
There will be no order. There will be chaos. People will attack each other. So no one will be safe. So in international political system, in the national political system, there are hierarchies. There are governments. In the international political system, is there any hierarchy? No, there's no hierarchy. It means anarchy. Anarchy means absence of hierarchy, absence of authority. There's no authority above the countries, above the states, which can maintain order. So all states, they have to defend themselves, they have to sustain themselves, they have to control themselves. So it is a self-help system. So the international system is anarchic. This pushes states to behave in similar ways. Power politics becomes normal behavior. Power politics. Who argues this? Realists. Realists argue power politics becomes normal behavior. Security and survival come first in realism. Strategic power matters more than moral goals. Strategic power matters more than morality, moral goals. Moral. So they say realists don't observe morality. They just pursue their national interest. Realists. Ethics are pushed aside when states feel unsafe. This happens regardless of a state's internal political system. Realists like Kenneth Waltz, criticize liberals for focusing too much on the inside. Liberals focus on that if states are good inside, they have legitimacy inside, it will bring legitimacy to the international political system. Realists criticize them for this. They say liberals put too much emphasis on inside of the states. They call this mistake reductionism. Reductionism means reducing a phenomenon to an extent that it is not true, that is not proper. Realists say liberals ignore the bigger picture. Realists say liberals ignore the bigger picture. They believe the international system itself matters most. International system is more important, realists believe. These are called systemic features. Systemic features, features of a system. This debate creates a clear divide. This clear divide among liberals and
Realists.
realists. One side looks inside out. Liberals look inside out.
Out.
If inside is good, outside will become good. If inside is bad, the outside will remain bad. The other side looks outside in, realists. They say because outside of the states, the international system, it is anarchic, it is competitive, it is insecure. It brings conflicts, it leads to conflicts and war and insecurity. So the outside of the states affects the inside of the states. So there are two views. Liberal view is inside looking out, and realist view is outside looking inside.
Inside.
Outside looking inside. Yes, this divide is central to modern international relations theory. Fukuyama's argument was not just about defeating Marxism. Fukuyama's argument was not only against Marxism, it also challenged neorealism directly. Realists. He claimed neorealists missed a major global trend. Fukuyama claimed neorealists they missed a major global trend. That trend is the growth of a liberal zone of peace, as I have explained. Liberal zone of peace. Realists don't pay attention that there is a big change. The countries which have been fighting against each other for centuries, now they have stopped fighting. It's a big change. The realists don't pay attention. Doyle supports this idea. Doyle supports Fukuyama. Doyle argues some states have learned to avoid violence. These states solve disputes peacefully. This peaceful group of states is growing. Their number is growing. This growth is an important feature of today's world. If this argument is correct, it matters a lot. It is very important. If it would revive liberal theory, it will revive, bring more importance to liberal theory. Liberalism was once thought to be badly damaged. Carr, E.H. Carr was a realist philosopher. He criticized liberal optimism in the 1930s. Many believed liberalism never recovered from that critique. But the idea of a growing peaceful zone challenges realism. It questions the belief that war is unavoidable. War is unavoidable. It suggests war is not a permanent part of international life. So, for today, it's enough. In the next class, we will discuss war, democracy, and free trade. So, come prepared. Before the class, all of you read this topic well.
Okay.
And come prepared, raise some questions, make your points, take participate in the discussion. So there should be interactive sessions in the class. I always ask the students to participate, to interact. So make questions, make points, raise your points, so that it is not one way. Okay, Ji, let us close it here.